Hey guys, it's Sarah here from Edgecombe Art. Welcome to my ever messy art and design studio. Today we're going to be doing quite a simple little one. We're just doing this dancer text here. I'm not sure which way around it's going to be. And it's the horizontal text and also showing you how to put that little pattern over the text as well. So for those of you that don't know me, welcome to my channel. I talk about all things that are designing for print on demand, graphic designs, Inkscape tutorials, learning how to use the software, as well as things to do with fabric printing, repeat surface patterns, and those sorts of things. If you have any questions or things you'd like me to cover, please leave a link or leave a comment in the comment section down below. I have quite a long list of a few things, so I hopefully will get to them when we get there, particularly to do with the fabric. I'm still waiting on some fabric to be delivered so I can show you guys what I have been up to. Anyway, so let's get into the tutorial. Alrighty, so let's just put that back over there. First things first, we are going to be doing these two little wee designs here. So showing you how to do the vertical text in Inkscape. It took me a little bit of a while to figure out where they'd move the buttons to, and also how to put the pattern over the top of this. So I got this design and also the pattern that I'm going to be using from Creative Fabrica. And I will leave a link to that down below, but let's just import the design that I use. So when you're importing, you just go up to File, Import, and then you just select whichever design that you would like to import. I'm just going to pull in that one there for the moment. Doesn't matter which one it is. And I'm also going to get a background as well, so File, and I'm going to go Import. Alrighty, and I've gone right past it a gazillion times, so I don't know why I used this one. It was just a random pattern that I picked out just to try something else, and ended up on the screen, and that's what I used to do the text with. There was no reason for picking this paper. I could have chosen absolutely anything I liked, but that's just the one I chose. Alrighty, excuse me a second. As I said, still sick. Alrighty, so vertical text. Right, let's get into that. I'll try and avoid working down where my face is for the moment. So the first thing you're going to want to do is create some text. So text button here, click on the screen, and we're just going to write Dance Mum, because that's just the what I was working with. I'm going to change that up to, I'm just going to put it at 130, hit apply. We'll work it at that size for the moment. That will be fine. And then we just want to choose a font. Now for this, I want something that does have a little bit of weight to it, because we're going to be using it as a cutout. So you don't want to be using something that is really fine or too wispy for this. You want something that's got a little bit of chunk to it. So once you have chosen something that is suitable, I'm just wondering if I change this up. Let's just go with this one, just because it's nice and chunky and you'll be able to see easily what I am doing. Alrighty, so here we have our text. So first of all, let's figure out how to pop the pattern over it. So here we have our text. We've also got our pattern. Hold down the Control key so we can increase it like this. And you want that to be able to go over the entire word. If you want the pattern to be you know, less big and you want it a bit smaller, the other thing you could always do would be to reduce down your the size of your text and do this. Or because this is a seamless pattern, you could also put two of them side by side and create it that way as well, so that would work. Alright, so we've now got our two designs. Here they are. We've got our text and our background pattern. So we are just going to simply select both of those like that, and we're going to go Object, Clip and Set. And it is as easy as that. So that is our text we can use. Obviously, we could move that down into that format if we wanted to. You could create two text things for that, so you could move them separately. So dance and mum. We're going to select those two together, hold down the control key so they go, oops. Let's Dane mum. Well, that kind of works, doesn't it? You're into Great Danes. Dance mum there, and we're just going to quickly put them into electronica. Alrighty, just do the same thing again. So import, I should have just made a copy, that would have made life much easier. So just import that. Wherever you're holding your cursor on Inkscape is where your design will land. So if you're waving your cursor around everywhere, sometimes your design will land somewhere you're not expecting it to, and you won't be able to find it. Just a little word of caution there. So we want that to go down to the bottom, so just click on it and click down. So if you were to find exactly where you wanted them in relation to each other, and select and go object group, and then do exactly the same thing, object clip and set, that will work. Or you'll have to do them separately, otherwise if it's reading the two separate objects on top, it doesn't know which one you want to clip it to, and it will just choose. So there you go. So that is one way to do it, and you can see the difference in the size there of the swirls on this one versus this one here. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do the vertical text. So that is again nice and easy. We will again get some text in, and we will write dance mum, not Dane mum, hopefully, and we're going to increase it like that. Of course, the other way to do that is you change your font size in here and click apply, and we will select, which one was it? Was something electronica or something, wasn't it? So let's have a look at a different one this time round. Oh no, it's right there, electronic black. Let's just go with that again. It's nice and easy. It's nice and chunky, and it's got separate letters for doing the horizontal text without the your cursor flicks and things on the end of it. You probably are not going to want to do that. All right, so we're going to double click on our, hang on, let's just double click on our text, and it brings up the text box that you can see up here. We discussed a little bit of this in the last one. So this is spacing between the letters. So if you were to increase that, it increases your space between the letters this way, and this one increases the space between the words. I don't really need to do any of these, but it's just there for you to know. And then the directional text box for this, double click again, is over here. So this is going this way, and this is going downwards, and you think, oh well, that's helpful. You're actually going to need to change this box here. So these two boxes that you're going to need to change the text. Now you need to make sure that you've got how you want your text to read before you do your clip set. So make sure this is in the right space. If you're not 100% sure, I suggest maybe just taking a quick copy of what you're working with, just to make sure that if you've got any errors or anything like that, you can go back and sort that out. For the moment, I'm just going to make this a little bit smaller and just make this a little bit bigger, and I can zoom in a smidgen because this is still relatively large. If you have a look here, we are still looking at quite a large drawing there. Yes, so that's really big still, but there we go. We don't need it to be that big, it's just where I was on my screen at the time. I was paying absolutely no attention. You can place that round a little bit to figure out exactly where you want the patterns. You want more pattern, like depending on exactly where you might want those to be, and I'm going to go like that there. And I am going to do exactly the same thing, and I'm going to go object clip and set, and I have this here. Now this does look a little bit better on the black, so let's just create another one of these, and we'll drop that to the bottom of the document so we can pull that in there, and we'll find out where's that other one that we have just done. It's these ones here. Alrighty, so that is those little wee designs done. Obviously you can completely change the look of this by changing your text style and also changing the pattern that you use to put on that. It's just one way of doing it. Once you have done the clip set with the pattern, you can't change a lot to do with the text. So if you go over here into your text and font at this point, normally you can change this, but because it's no longer a text item, you're not going to be able to get in there and change anything very easily, because you've taken a copy, you know, on top of that stamp. So makes it a little bit more difficult to make any changes to. You can change the size and that will be fine, but what you can't do is if you double click on it at this point, you know, normally it brings up that text box, but it won't. So that's why I recommend taking a copy of your text that you've actually done before you change it over with the pattern, because if you need to go back and change anything, like you realize that you've actually written Dane instead of dance, you're not going to be able to go back and change that. All right, and then the next thing that we were going to do was put in that little, I can't even find where oh, there she is. You can just bring in your little design that you want to put in there. Let's pull in another one as well. File and import. Let's pick something else that's a dancer. Let's pull in this one for the moment. All right, and so we're just going to position that however we want to do that, and we're going to create a file from this so we can upload it, say to Redbubble or something along those lines. Make sure you don't have your black behind it, otherwise it will show. We're going to select all of these objects together, and we're going to go object and group. You can also just go Control G as well. And then we're going to select this, and then you can hit export PNG image, and we're going to hit export as. And here we are in just a few of the dance ones I've uploaded in the last couple of days, and we just doesn't matter what we call it, just hit save and make sure you hit export as well. Oopsie-doo. Now there, we've just realized I've put custom on instead of selection. Make sure when you've got that together you hit selection. Custom will do something crazy. Drawing will print everything on the page, and page will print everything that is currently over on, where is it? Over here. So this would export absolutely nothing. I'll show you what we're doing over there. That's next. Alrighty, so click on that. So we're going to hit selection because that's what we want to upload. Have a look, make sure it's 300 dpi, and the rough pixels there. We're only going to be using this for the top bits of shirts and hats. Sorry. So that will be fine. So we'll just hit export as, and of course it's gone off where I need it to be. So here we are, and we just make sure that we then hit export as well. And now that should be available for us to go and upload over on Redbubble or any other site that you'd like to do. The other thing you can do with that, because this was clip set, it still retains the information behind the file. So if you wanted to then use this to create you know, a seamless pattern of some description, not quite sure what you'd use that bit for, but you could. You would probably want to use the imported PNG image rather than this file here. So rather than, you know, cutting and pasting this to create your, you know, a seamless design that you're then going to want to clip set, I would highly recommend that you use your imported PNG image. So for that case, you'd go File and Import. Now we save this, hang on, I saved this somewhere different. Don't normally do it this way around. So I would, yeah, recommend coming back in here and re-importing that image. Okay, because then it's not going to have all this extra information around it. Alrighty, so that is, you know, if you wanted to create like a seamless pattern or something here, you could do that. If you were wanting to do something with that, I'm not really sure why you'd want to do that. Let's ignore anything to do with that. Okay, so there we are. That's nice and easy. So that's creating a vertical text and using a pattern on top of that as well, which is really cool. Next time we're going to be looking at doing pattern infills as well in the background of shapes. Also just another dance one that I was working on as well. Anyway, so I hope that's really helpful. It took me a little while to find where the vertical text buttons were. I kept seeing, you know, like it's a vertical button, and I couldn't find it it took me quite some time in the new version to find where that was. Anyway, so thanks for watching, and as always, it would be lovely if you could subscribe or like the video if you found it useful. And thanks for watching, guys.